focus. Focus for the camera.
Oh my god, I'm Batman.
Are you in a dining room or something?
No, I'm in a lobby.
Looks like you're in a dining room.
God damn it! I
Yummy.
fucking turned the goddamn computer off again.
Alright, well, Vandalia, intro time.
Hey everybody, we're back. Fucking time with caffeine. Back on the Saturday again. Why? Because we want to. That's why.
Wow, the way
Anyway.
Schnick drank that caffeine. Speaking of which, I got mine.
Got mine.
Brandon, you got your caffeine?
I don't.
Sorry, but I have to be in a public place tonight because I don't have access anywhere else, okay?
What was that? Were you picking your nose there? No.
Okay.
No. Alright, let's just move on before things get worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our main topic tonight is video game consoles and the good, the bad, and the ugly. But before we start, before we start with other people's news, I'd like to thank Brandon here for he is designing new thumbnails for the podcast. Everyone thank Brandon in the comments.
You're welcome.
Sure.
Yeah, he's welcome in advance. And also, I made this thing you're looking at here.
The background.
Yeah.
So does anyone have any big news that's happened to them lately that you want to talk about? Like
Anything what?
Like any big events that happen?
I bought a TV.
I was in the... Should I tell the story of what happened yesterday?
Sure.
Do it.
Quit picking your nose.
Okay. Sorry about that. So yesterday, I had just returned to the room I was staying at during the camp, and I went to the bathroom to wash my hands. And as I'm finishing up, I look at a hole in the wall where a panel of the wall is missing, and I see a snake curled up on that hole, on top of it.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And as I backed away in terror, it was slithering its way back inside the hole. I have no idea if it was going around the bathroom or anything like that, but I called, my dad and another counselor came, and they boarded up the wall with the panel, and just a few hours ago, the snake was recovered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened to the snake?
I don't know.
It probably just got released back into the wild.
Did it eat the grasshoppers of Grasshopper Boy?
Did it eat the grasshopper boy? I have not seen the grasshopper boy since that camp.
But did it eat the grasshoppers or a grasshopper?
I don't know. Probably not.
Okay, wait a second. Was it a poison snake or gardener snake, or what kind of snake was it?
I don't know. I kept being told by the counselor that it wasn't a poisonous snake, but the thing is, I've seen black rattlesnakes here before, and this snake was colored black.
Was it rattling?
I didn't hear a rattle, but once when I walked dangerously close to one without knowing it, and I looked at its behind, and there was a rattle on it. What looked like a rattle, anyway.
Okay.
That's
Don't
gotta
hear-
be terrifying.
Don't hear a rattle, but don't take any chances. Bye-bye, snake.
The snake is like, you don't get a
There are
warning. What is this
definitely-
warning?
even though they claim the black rattlesnakes or the black snakes up here aren't poisonous, thing is there are rattlesnakes, more specifically the timber rattlesnake that's like colored tan and has like diamonds on its back.
Yeah.
Wait, rattlesnakes are poisonous?
Duh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're deadly poisonous.
Yeah, but I also learned it, reading biology books and stuff, that some animals make it look like they're other animals so they don't get eaten. Like some animals make it look like they're poisonous, even though they're not. Like, he looks poisonous, and no one eats him. I'm gonna look the same way. Ha! They'll never.
Can I just say, Adam, I don't know how you didn't know a rattlesnake was poisonous, even though you are currently living in a place full of deadly monsters.
Bruh, I have
there's
not
never
seen
where
a
you
single
are
snake
over
here. What the fuck are you talking about?
I always thought snakes were common in that area.
I have
Yeah, it's like a
not
big
seen
desert.
a snake once, and I've been here for like a year plus 2 vacations. So I don't know what you're talking about. If that's a thing, then I haven't seen that.
You're literally living in the state that has the most, like, deadly animals in it.
Really? Like what?
Yeah, and truth is, the only way to get antitoxin for snake venom is to literally extract it from them. To extract venom from snakes and basically reverse engineer it.
So wait, what kind of animals are here then?
Like, you've got scorpions, you've got snakes, you've got tarantulas, you've got spiders, you've got really dangerous wasps. I mean, fuck,
Killer
you've
bees.
got a lot.
Wasps, sure. Spiders, yeah, I've seen spiders, but I don't know if I don't know which is poisonous and which isn't, but I'm just gonna say they're just non-poisonous spiders, since most of them just don't look like unusual spiders to me. And tarantulas, haven't seen one. What were the other ones?
You've got scorpions, you've got ants too, but those aren't quite deadly unless they're the bullet ant.
Ants are everywhere.
There's a lot of army ants that attack in swarms and devour things. I think that's South America.
That too, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's ants,
Well,
but there's also ants in
Fire ants are
Colorado.
not a laughing matter either.
I don't recall seeing fire ants. Oh, also, there are no scorpions as far as I'm concerned, because I have never seen a scorpion here.
They're out west.
Still haven't seen it.
Well, they're probably in the desert.
Technically, I am in the desert, except all the desert has been paved up.
No, there's still a big desert that you can go and explore.
Yeah, but pretty much most of it is where people live. I mean, seriously. I kept hearing stories about how my dad would live here as a kid, and there would be fucking desert pretty much everywhere. And now that he's back here, all that desert is pretty much gone, and it's replaced with buildings and houses and shit. But yeah, I think I'm getting too off topic here, so I'm gonna give it back to Schneck now.
Really?
Back to regular scheduled program.
Yeah.
You done your story, Snick?
No, I don't think he is.
Not really. No, other than the fact that I want to go home today, and now I have to wait until morning.
Oh.
But the fact that the snake was caught is going to help me sleep easier.
Well, there could be another one. Wink, wink.
Da da da.
Exactly.
Wait, what'd you say?
It's
What if
solid
another one
snake.
gets in? Exactly. What if another one gets in? Exactly.
Okay.
Why do I have to repeat myself?
Because my stream is streaming on my computer, and if I can't hear you through Skype, then nobody can hear you through my stream. Or, well, not my stream, Vandelia's stream.
God.
Well, before we start on the main topic, I figured since we're talking about game consoles, Mario, do you want to talk about your game experience yesterday?
Yeah, I can talk about the Switch again, I suppose. So, okay, in a previous episode months ago, when the Switch was first released, I was doing a quote-unquote review of it, and I was basically talking about my thoughts, and, well, let me just put this in perspective for you. So, if you ever heard people talking about how there's basically nothing but Zelda that you could do on the Switch at that time, well, they weren't exactly lying, because that's pretty much true. Since I recently got my second Switch game. My second. So that means I've only had one Switch game ever since release. Yeah, that's pretty bad. And while there are more than just 2 games at all, most of them I don't care for. 1-2-Switch can go fuck itself because it's basically a bullshit game where it's pretty much uninteresting. It's the mini games are stupid. Like seriously, most of them make you feel like a fucking dumbass. And I mean, just I don't know why people would want to play that game. I honestly don't understand. Oh, and it's also I would say that it's okay if it was like a low price. No, it's like up there. It's like $50, which is $10 less than what the normal Switch games would be, which would be $60. So it is.
And then there's one Switch that's like $30.
What?
And I said, and then there's 1-2-Switch, which is like $30 for a demo.
No, yeah. That's the game I just said. I just described 1-2-Switch. And it's not $30, it's $50.
$50 now?
No, it's always been $50. I don't know where you've been.
Dude, it used to be fucking 30.
If it was $30, it would still be way overpriced. I'd pay for it for like 15 or 10 bucks at most. But yeah, it's always been $50, which I don't understand why they even bothered pricing it at 50 than the normal 60. I honestly don't understand why they did that.
Why they priced Splatoon at 50 instead of 60?
What?
I said, why'd they price Splatoon at 50 instead of 60?
Like Splatoon 1?
No.
Splatoon 2?
Yeah.
No, Splatoon 2 is $60.
Yes?
Yeah, didn't I tell you that?
No, you said you got it for 50.
No, I said I got a $50 eShop card. Or something, I don't know.
And you just, all you told me was I got Splatoon for 50.
No, it was 60. If I told you it was 50, then my bad.
You ready?
Yeah, it's 60. But anyways, so yeah, 1-2-Switch sucks. It's overpriced. And then let's see, Bomberman game. I'm not interested in Bomberman, so I obviously didn't get it.
Bomberman's been irrelevant for years, though. Come on.
And let's see here. Pretty much after that point, at least when the Switch first came out, there was like a limited amount of games on the eShop, and one of them was Snipper Clips, which I don't like. because, well, if you're playing if you're playing one-player mode, you still have to, it's like tilt your Joy-Con over so that it's horizontal instead of just using two Joy-Cons. I don't understand the purpose of that, and it feels awkward. Also, it made me realize how fucking tight the shoulder buttons for the side of the controller are. At least I think they are. I'm not sure. Maybe I just had to wear them down. I don't know. They just felt tight when I played the demo version. Oh, and funny thing, Snipper Clips was the one game on the eShop that had a demo. Every other game didn't, because most of them were Neo Geo games, which I don't understand why there's so many fucking Neo Geo games, and I also don't understand why they're not labeled as Virtual Console, because, well, Neo Geo was a Virtual Console section on the Wii Shop channel, so why isn't it here? That seems pretty fucking weird, don't you think? And also what's weird is just the fact that there's so many Neo Geo games. Like, where the fuck do they come from? Why is there so many Neo Geo games now? Why weren't they on the Wii U? I mean, honestly.
Because Nintendo, that's why.
Also, apparently there was a Snake game that I didn't know about until, like, a couple months ago. And it seems alright, but since I didn't even know about it, I didn't get it. And what basically happened was, because there was basically only one noteworthy game for me at the time, pretty much what happened was I burnt out of that game, and I basically just left my Switch in the closet for months, and well, it literally collected dust, I can tell you that much, but hey, at least I reduced the amount of chances I would scratch the screen from not using it at all. Even though,
by leaving it in the dock?
Who the fuck cares? No, it was out of the dock. It was out of the dock, sitting on the shelf. The dock was somewhere else.
Gotchas. But if you left it in the dock, it would have scratched it?
No, well, I don't know. It depends. I mean, if it's fucking moving all about, then maybe. If it's like literally in only one place, sitting there and not being touched at all, and not being moved by anything, then sure, I guess it would not still be scratched, but I didn't have it in the dock at the time, so I just left it out of the dock. But my point still stands either way.
They should have had more games at launch. They really should have.
Yeah, should have had waited a while, get prepared for games, or even just convert some old Wii U games to Switch. Just upgrade them.
No, they did do that, actually.
Adam, that's what they're doing now.
That's basically what they're doing, and also that seems to be a norm now for Nintendo, is just porting over Wii U games, because we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, we have, oh, I forgot the other game, but well, I'm pretty sure there's 2 Wii U ports, right?
Yeah. And
by the way, if Smash Bros. 4 gets it's a Switch port with no significant enhancements, I will break something.
Oh, and also, Pokken Tournament is being ported over to the Switch for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Nintendo wants to forget the Wii U, see?
Yeah,
never forget. Never forget.
Dude, Nintendo right now is literally treating the Wii U as the CDI.
Honestly,
I'll
talk about the Wii U in a little bit, but all I'm gonna say about it for the time being is I don't understand why people hate it. So, yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of eShop, the eShop is basically not very organized in my opinion. like, you know, the other eShops, like the 3DS and Wii U eShops, and even the DSi shop and the Wii Shop channel, you know how they were all organized really neatly? Well, not in the Nintendo Switch eShop, they're not, because, like, there's, like, 4 things that I can select. One of them is, like, search, another is, like, browse games, I think, and that's, like, literally showing you every game on the eShop, I think. And then there's a coming soon section, and I think there's a bestseller section, and that's it. So because of that, there's a fuck ton of Neo Geo games just sitting on the menu and basically taking up space from all the other games, and it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, why are there no sections? Why is there no organization like the previous consoles? What the hell?
Because Nintendo doesn't want to organize. Oh my god.
Da da da.
And what else about the Switch?
Well,
yeah, like we said earlier, it gets scratched easily. Though I haven't seemed to get too many scratches myself, because like I've taken it out of the dock and in the dock multiple times, and I haven't gotten a scratch out of it, and that's because I put it in and out slowly. I don't do it at like what the commercial shows.
How they just kind of slam it in there like it's a basketball?
Yeah, pretty much, and also take it out on like one side. Like you see, well, I'm pretty sure one of the commercials, at least one, showed someone taking out the Switch from its dock and doing that by grabbing it on one side.
They did that.
Yeah, and yeah, if people do that, then that's probably how they got their Switch screens scratched.
They must have figured, oh, Nintendo showed people doing it, so I must be able to do it as well.
But
you thought wrong.
But here's the problem, though. If it gets scratched easily by the dock, basically, don't drop it when you're carrying it outside, period. Because if that fucker drops...
it's as fragile as an iPhone.
If that,
you want to know why the screen is so bad, Adam?
It's a wrap. It's a wrap for that thing.
You want to know why the screen gets scratched so easily?
Plastic.
Because your friends at Nintendo cheaped out and didn't use glass instead of fucking plastic, or they didn't use... I didn't fucking know what it is. They used plastic instead of fucking glass. They would have put in a glass touch panel, this shit wouldn't be happening. So fuck you, Nintendo, for being cheap as fuck.
Well, to be fair, the 3DS wasn't cheaped out yet. It still had the fucking problem where there was those 2 vertical lines on the top screen.
I've never had that problem.
I've had that problem. I don't know how you don't, but I do.
Never even heard of that problem.
Yeah, literally, like, if you use it so much that eventually by closing it closing it multiple times, you get these 2 fucking vertical lines that you get from like the ridges of the touchscreen.
You're probably breaking the fucking ribbon cable by closing it so much.
What? No, that's not even related.
Ribbon cables carry the signal for the screen.
No, it's not like pixels, it's physical lines, Brandon.
I know. It can do that if you break the...
what does that have to do with the ribbon cable, though?
If you break it, shit like that can happen.
No, because that has nothing to do with the ribbon cable, Brandon.
Yes, it does. The ribbon cable is what gives you your screen, dude.
Yeah, I'm talking about physical lines, not digital lines. And those lines actually line up with the ridges of the touchscreen.
I don't understand.
Basically, if I had my 3DS turned off and I showed those lines to you under light, you would be able to see them. So, if you can see lines when the power is off, and they don't look like pixely lines, then basically that's physical.
Okay.
I don't understand what's so hard to grasp about that. Or actually, well, now thinking about it, I don't know if they lined up with the touchscreen ridges, but all I know is that there's physical lines on the fucking top screen, and yeah, it's basically there permanently. You can't even clean it off. And the funny thing is that nobody complained about that for some reason. Either that or I just don't hear. No, actually, I would have heard complaints because I'm on the internet all the time anyways. But whatever. Oh yeah, also I think the gyroscope or whatever for the 3DS might break easily because, well, I guess especially when you shake it, which I was guilty of light shaking, so I guess I broke my own 3DS, but you can break your 3DS's gyroscope by shaking it, so.
That makes no sense that it's able to do that.
I don't know. Now, let's see here.
Oh. Well. Oh.
What?
Well. I forget now.
Wow.
It sounded like you were stretching.
I was, but
You were
I was talking more of your. What's that reason to it? I was talking about more of your angry rant about your games yesterday, and then the Switch. I wasn't ready to talk about the Switch yet. I believe it's at the end. This is the future.
Wait, what? You lost me.
What? When I said you want to talk about what happened yesterday to you, you're angry.
Just normal rage. Nothing really big happened. Other than, I mean, unless you're talking about when I went in to trade those games, then no, not really.
Yeah, I meant.
Me trading in those games?
Because we're talking about game consoles, you know.
Wait, you okay? I'm sorry. So, like me raging at Splatoon 2?
No, rewind. Okay, yeah. I said, since we're talking about game consoles and games, do you want to mention what happened yesterday with the games that made you rage?
Oh, okay, so me trading in those games. Well, basically, in a nutshell, I learned to not trust it selling your games at any game store because they'll rip you off. Like, I sold 17 games yesterday at a retro game store, not GameStop, a retro game store, and they gave me approximately the same prices that GameStop would give me. So if people think that GameStop has a huge issue about having low prices, think again, all stores apparently do that shit. In fact, a great example is that, well, I've heard examples of how GameStop would give you like this much for your game and then sell it for a way higher price. Well, basically, I got a game called Kingdom Hearts 2.5 Remix on the PS3 last year, and it was $22. I sold it this year, and I got like $3 out of it. And they're probably going to sell it for a higher price, too. So, yeah. That's kind of bullshit reason. Oh, yeah, also, what is up with Mario Kart 7 and being so valuable, apparently? Because, I swear to God, no matter where I look, apparently Mario Kart 7 is valuable enough to have a higher price than literally any other game I've tried.
I don't know. Because it's Mario Kart.
Oh yeah, most of the games I got for $1, and a couple games I got for 25 cents, a couple of them I got for 50 cents. So yeah, if you're selling your games, fucking sell them by doing a garage sale or Craigslist or eBay. Don't trust fucking game stores. Oh, excuse me.
Hey, honey.
Excuse me again.
So, I don't know. Some of us had these games. Some of us hasn't. I know. Snick here has lots of these consoles. If you Snick, you still here?
Yeah, I have to plug the phone in because you took too long to start the podcast. Not for nothing.
The podcast has been going on for like. I told you.
When I first joined the call, you asked me if the phone was fully charged. I said yes, and then you proceeded to take an hour and a half to set up the thing, or something.
I didn't know. We didn't know it would take that long.
Yeah. No, I have to plug it in, and I have to. So yeah, I have a bunch of the systems. I got.
We'll
PlayStation.
We'll start. We'll get to it. It all started before you were all born with the Odyssey. Probably no one here has played the Odyssey. I haven't.
Isn't
It was
that... No,
No,
it wasn't a Pong console, actually.
Yeah, pretty much. I think that all of them were Pong consoles back in the day.
What?
The Magnavox Odyssey.
Are you talking about the console that has the fucking things that you have to put on your TV, and they're like supposed to be the games?
Probably, yeah.
That's what he's talking about. It's literally
Okay, yeah,
Pong
I
because
thought so.
lines in a dot, and then you're supposed to put these overlays on your TV.
No, they're
Yeah.
actually two. Well, no, it's one line and one dot, actually.
That and two other games apparently were called the first generation of game consoles. From 72 to 80.
Oh, didn't it have a light gun too?
I
It
don't
might
think
have.
so.
I'm pretty sure it
Maybe.
did. I'm pretty
might
sure
have.
it did. And
For
it
sake
looked like a
reasons.
real fucking gun with a cord.
Then came the second generation, which included the Ataris, 2600 and 5200.
I thought the Pong
I have
was
a
next.
2600.
What?
Wasn't
I
the
have a
Pong next?
2600.
So did I. I think I still have one somewhere. I might have broke, but I bought a 2600.
Look, here's an Asteroids cartridge. Even though you can't really see it, but Asteroids.
Nice. And then it happened, and after that, some other one. So I think there were some other. Apparently, there's like 8 other systems too, but no one knows about them. And then happened the great game crash. Anybody know about that?
Yep.
Yep.
And I actually have ET.
You think ET caused the game crash?
It kind of pushed it over the edge, pretty much. Yeah.
It was a factor, yeah, but there was also games. Well, I've basically heard from AVGN that apparently people can make their own video games, send them to Atari, and then have it published. And a lot of them were porn games, believe it or not. Literally, like, there would be games where you fucking raped a girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, those existed.
So yeah, that's main. I think that's the main reason why there was the game crash.
Yeah,
This
Atari
is
was...
why. This is why most companies have standards nowadays to prevent something like that from happening again.
Yeah,
Most
Atari...
games are being reviewed.
Yeah, Atari was my first system I got when I was 4 or 5. When I was 4 or 5, I had Frogger and Asteroids and Centipede and Pole Position.
Yeah.
I
We
suck-
know what. Yeah. You
I
know
suck at
the
all of
real
them.
reason. one of the big reasons why the crash happened was because they were basically allowing all these bad games to come out because they thought that regardless of their quality, people believed in the Atari name, which is why they thought they would keep selling. Sure enough, the 2600 version of Pac-Man ended up becoming the best-selling game for the system. Too bad it's also one of the most returned.
We wouldn't put the TV in there.
And well, it's in the box. Where else would I put
it in that closet?
Whoa.
In the closet.
I think it gets too much moisture.
Alrighty.
Brandon, mute your mic.
Did you hear a word of what I said?
You said Pac-Man was the most... no, it was the best-selling game, but I think you said it was the most returned?
It's also one of the most returned. It was the 2600 version was so bad.
What do you mean by returned? Like, people returned them, or it came up and...
Returned them to get their money back.
Oh. Well. But how could it be a bestseller, though?
Because it sold well at first, because the Pac-Man arcade game had just come out and it was really popular in the arcades, and the 2600 version was like one of the first versions to be released for home. So people were excited.
Yeah, this was back at a time when arcades were still popular, I think.
Yeah, did I just see a fucking bug on my wall?
Maybe.
Oh.
Anyways, next came Generation 3, which included the original Nintendo.
And also the Sega Master System.
Oh yeah. A few years later. But yeah, those two. And for a while, there were some other games too, consoles too. But for a while, Nintendo and Sega were the two masters of the duking it out.
Yep, but basically, well, I don't know if Sega had their following with the Master System, but basically, Nintendo is the reason why video games still exist, because they literally saved the crash entirely.
No, you know how Nintendo was able to get people to buy the NES?
Why?
Because they marketed it as a toy.
Well, that's kind of funny, yet fitting, because Nintendo did start out as a toy company.
Rob? Do you remember Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah, the robot.
The launch titles for the NES were the two games that supported Rob. So they're like, oh, look at this cool robot.
Yeah.
It plays these games on this machine. Buy it now.
I think it also focused on a thing. Atari was America. It shifted the focus from American games to Japanese games.
Wow.
Yeah, for like up until like the 7th generation of game systems, the biggest franchises were all Japanese.
Like made in Japan?
Like, what? Yeah, like a lot of the biggest games that people were anticipating were made in Japan.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, but nowadays
technically
nowadays we have our oh my god. Nowadays we have our Call of Duties, our Battlefields, and all that. Everything American developed, sometimes European. And meanwhile, all the fanboys of the original Japanese games basically consider new games in those franchises to be a laughing stock. Everyone criticizes Final Fantasy 15, Resident Evil 6, Street Fighter 5, and all that.
Yeah. I saw this.
Uh,
Sorry, go on. I'll finish my thought in a second.
Okay. So, technically, there are some games, and even Nintendo, that have games that were still made in Japan. Like, Splatoon was... well, I'm certain it was made in Japan. In fact, I think also Mario is too, and a bunch of other games I'm not going to list.
What's that?
Well, basically, so we were saying that back then, the main focus of games were games that were made in Japan and then localized here. And it was only up to the 7th generation where it shifted towards the American side. But I was saying how that Japan games are still being localized here, especially from Nintendo.
Well, they're always going to be localized here, Adam.
Yeah, but I'm saying that Japan games are, still a big focus too here. The only difference is that
the thing is, Japanese games are localized more than ever. Like big Japanese franchises like the Shin Megami Tensei series only started coming to the US like in the 2000s, despite existing since like the late 80s.
Yeah.
And then there's other games that never get transferred over. Take a while, like Mario 2 over there became the levels here, like 20 years later or 10 years later.
During the Super Mario All Stars pack.
And then games like Final Fantasy 2 and 3 never came over here, and we got all confused with the titles and stuff. It's, like we went 1, 2, 3, 7.
Wow. Really?
Oh yeah, and that wasn't the only incident too. There's also The Legend of Zelda, except it's not with titles, it's with the timeline.
That's a whole other story. That's a whole other podcast.
Literally, you can make it an entire podcast, the Zelda timeline.
Legend of Zelda lore. Hashtag,
yeah.
Hashtag LOZ lore.
But as
oh shit, we got a message. How is everyone, says C Corn Jumbo?
We are fine. We are talking about game consoles. Do you have any game consoles over there in New Zealand?
Wait, you know him?
He's a subscriber of mine for a few years.
Huh. Didn't know that you knew that he was in New Zealand?
Yeah. Let's see.
Anyways, continuing.
Hold on. So, as Nick was mentioning earlier about the new games and stuff, it reminded me, I've mentioned this before I think, but it reminded me of a forum post I was reading one time. People were arguing, where these kids were saying, this new console game isn't realistic at all. It's from the last console. It's not real. It's like so bad and stuff. And the older guy was like, "Hey, go back and play it Atari, original Nintendo and Atari, and see how good these graphics are compared to that."
Really, people were complaining about realism? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, in the PS4 or whatever, the PS4 the kids were saying the PS4 system had terrible graphics, and the older guy was like, "Hey, go back and play Atari, and you'll think these systems are great."
Fucking elitist.
The Atari, the main thing with the Atari was that it was so simplistic that your imagination kicked in and made it seem like the best thing ever.
No, you want to know what something I heard constantly?
What?
I fucking constantly heard about how, GTA 5 looks better than real life.
What the fuck? No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it literally said that. And that was a thing.
Thing
I fucking saw those pictures on the internet for like a few months or more. It was ridiculous.
That is literally the dumbest thing I have ever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, fucking right.
So
Anyways,
there's realism for you.
Next came the 4th generation, and these are systems probably everyone's heard of at this point. There's more famous systems now. There's the TurboGrafx 16, the Genesis, the Super Nintendo, the CDI, and the 32X.
Did you mention the 3DO and the Jaguar?
They're not on this list.
Okay.
I think they came later. They came later.
No, they came.
No, they're
No,
next.
they-
No, according to this, they're next. They come next.
Really, according to GameFAQs, they're 4th generation.
According, well, then look either that GameFAQs' line, or Wikipedia's line, or two different things.
Okay, but I'm going to be honest with you. The 4th generation of game systems is the earliest one I'm interested in, even though I don't own a system from the 4th generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
don't know
had.
why, but anything more primitive than Super Nintendo is not like anything that's as primitive or less primitive than the or anything that's as primitive or even more primitive than the NES. It just doesn't click with me for some reason.
Yeah, on the retro games.
Well,
You know,
I
you
like
could have had
Super
the.
Nintendo
Could
style
have had.
Beyond. That's it.
Sorry.
But I was
Games
Well, I
Beyond,
was a-
that's it.
yeah, I was a Super Nintendo kid, well, teenager at this point. But
Could have
yeah,
had Super Nintendo PlayStation system, but that never happened. And now the Super Nintendo PlayStation system is the rarest console on Earth.
apparently we're going back to our season 4 premiere. They've started. Apparently, they're making a SNES Mini now.
Yeah, they are, and the patent for an N64 Mini was confirmed.
I looked at the list of games, and like the NES games, only a few of them are even interesting to me. Like most of them are I don't even care about. Like, oh look, 30 games. I only play 4 or 5 of them.
Hopefully, there's gonna be a hack available for the SNES Mini, like the NES Mini, because you could hack the entire NES library onto the NES Mini.
Yeah,
Basically,
that was the funny thing.
Yeah, basically all I
Excuse me.
basically all I like so far on this list is the Secret of Mana, the Zelda games, and the Final Fantasy Mario games.
Yeah, well, here's an update about the Super Nintendo Classic. It's going to be the NES Classic again. It's already sold out. Pre-orders.
Really?
Jesus.
Wait,
Probably-
pre-orders were open
Nintendo.
already? Wow.
And probably
To paraphrase?
No. To represent the scalpers and the Nintendo's lack of caring for making enough units available, the best way to sum it up is with the war between scalpers, Nintendo, and legitimate people who want to buy it. It's to use the famous quote from the Fallout games: "War never changes."
and probably like the NES Mini, they'll probably discontinue it by next year.
Yeah. They're probably gonna discontinue it and then start making the N64 Mini.
To be completely honest with you, I don't understand why people are buying these things. Honestly, I don't see a point.
Because
I
that's
yeah, I
why.
guess it's for people who had Nintendos but don't have their system anymore because they were kids and their parents sold it and
Yeah.
they can't find any games within the games you can't find anymore.
Here's your answer: buy a Wii U.
Yeah.
Better yet, emulators are a thing. Literally,
That-
you can just emulate every fucking game in the SNES library, including the unreleased Star Fox 2 game, and
Which is now
there you
going
go.
to be released on the N64 or on wow. Star Fox 2 is now going to be released on the SNES Mini.
Even though it was already technically released on or leaked on the internet years ago, so
but
I
never
mean,
released.
it's not. I mean, for me, that's not a real big selling point since people could just fucking play it to begin with.
Yeah, the whole thing with the Star Fox 2 and Nintendo not releasing it was that Nintendo was just being an asshole to the company that created it, because they literally just then took the assets from it and fucking made Star Fox 64.
Yeah. But the 4th gen had some bad systems too, like the CDI and the 32X.
Oh god, the CDI.
Yay.
That is a fucking thing
the
from
best
hell.
console ever. I mean, what?
No, that is the thing from fucking hell that brought us games such as Hotel Mario,
Yeah.
Link, Faces
Yeah.
of Evil, Zelda, Wand of
Yeah.
Gamelon, and Zelda's...
Hey, it brought us many happy YouTube poops.
Yes, it did, though. That's the only fucking thing that came out of that console.
When does the Virtual Boy come in?
I don't know. It probably already came in.
What the fuck?
I think the Virtual Boy might have been on the list. Maybe Virtual Boy is considered a handheld or something.
You know what? Let me look that up.
Technically, the idea was, I guess it was supposed to be portable, except, not only is it not very portable, it's also not very usable. Oh,
The
yeah.
Virtual Boy is considered to be in the 5th generation of video game consoles.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Because it was released in 1995 and was available to 1996. Only 7,700 units was ever sold, and yeah, it got discontinued quickly because it's really shit and caused headaches, so...
And also, there are literally a handful of games.
Yeah, it's
like
literally just a handful of games, that's it. You can buy the entire library and hold it in one hand.
Yep. Oh yeah, something off topic real quick. How would you like a mini Virtual Boy with only one game? with only one game. Because, you know, if they're gonna give me 30 NES games and even less SNES games, then fuck it. If there was a Virtual Boy, only give me one game since the library was so small. And there you go. Oh man, what a deal that is! Fucking, you'll save so much money on the game. Oh my god.
Then came the fifth generation, which includes the Atari Jaguar, the PlayStation, the Sega Saturn, and the Nintendo 64.
And the Virtual Boy.
Yay.
The 5th generation's a first ever generation.
Yeah, the 5th
My cousin-
generation was my first generation, too.
Yeah, the PS1 I owned as a little kid. My cousin also had an N64 that later on she would completely box up, and for no reason whatsoever, I can't have it, so I had to buy my own.
Which is kind of bullshit.
And then I don't own a Saturn, and I don't see much incentive to get one, unfortunately.
I own a Saturn, and the only fucking game that I bought currently is this game.
I can't
Which isn't even American made.
Yeah, it's not even American made because the Saturn sold so poorly that it got discontinued very quickly, and the Castlevania game never got ported. Yes, it did get discontinued very quickly.
Really?
In fact, if you look it up, I can tell you exactly when it got discontinued.
Yeah, we are still in the 90s.
I don't remember people ever saying, "Oh, the Saturn was discontinued this quickly." Or I heard no mention of it being discontinued fast at all.
It was discontinued, released on November 22nd, 1994. It was May 11th in 1995 in North America, and discontinued in 96, I think. Is that what this says? Yeah, it says 96. What the fuck?
What do you mean 96? What was discontinued?
The Saturn.
No, the Saturn got discontinued in 98 in America.
This article is really wrong. Yeah, it's 98. Why is this article wrong?
That main lifespan was from 95 to 96, a little bit of 97, but then, actually, its main life was basically 95 to 97, and then 98. Here's the thing, any Saturn games that came out in the US in 98 are almost guaranteed to be extremely rare.
Really?
The rarest
Yeah.
being the Panzer Dragoon Saga, which you can expect to pay like $500 for.
Jesus Christ.
Yup.
Yeah.
And thing is, that was ironically that was the best game the Saturn got, and so many people wanted to port to a modern system. Too bad the source code is lost, so it's not possible.
Yeah. The 64 was the last Nintendo system I bought, so I got my Wii. After that, I started getting PlayStations. Actually, after that, I stopped playing games all the. Actually, after that, for a while, I started doing PC gaming. For a while,
Wow.
CDs and DVDs and stuff like that, and downloadable emulators.
Yeah.
Except emulators were, well, I'd imagine they would be more harder to get back then, considering that, well, obviously at the time those consoles were current, so having emulators for them would be hard to get.
Yeah, they mostly Nintendo emulators back then.
Wow.
In my high school days, because I bought a floppy disk from the kid at school for $5. It had an emulator and all these games, Final Fantasy and Zelda on it.
Oh, wow.
It's like a 5-inch floppy disk.
Floppy
Wow.
disks, the way of the past that got discontinued.
Unfortunately, you paid $5 for it. That was the problem.
Well, I didn't have internet access for. I won't get internet access for 5 more years.
Oh, wow. Oh my god, that sounds horrible.
Because I bought this in '96, and the library, the public library, wouldn't get internet till '98, and I won't get internet to my house until 2004.
Wow. Wait, oh my god. 2004? Jesus fuck.
And it was dial-up, so.
Oh, that's no
You got to hear
good
the
in
dial-up
2004? Are you fucking kidding me? Dude, dial-up would suck in 2004, let alone today.
Oh, I used to play an MMO on dial-up, Final Fantasy 11. I used to play that on dial-up.
Was it fucking slow as shit, or was it actually compatible?
It wasn't that bad, really. Only problem was when someone picked up the phone, it didn't get disconnected.
Oh yeah, that's right, because they're both on the same line, so. Ha!
It wasn't until the late 2000s that dial-up really started sucking. But
Really?
except for updates, I had to keep my computer on all night to update the game, update Final Fantasy 11. Like, hey, turn the computer on, start update, go to bed, wake up and hope it's updated.
Wow. That's actually surprising to hear. It wasn't that bad until 2005, you said?
Late 2000s. That's when YouTube came out, and I started watching videos. I'm like, okay, 2 seconds. Wait a minute, 2 more seconds. Wait a second, 2 more seconds of the video.
Wow. That's actually kind of surprising.
That's when I got my laptop, went to Wi-Fi. I'm like, oh my god, this is much faster.
I'll be right back. I need to ask my parents something now.
So Snick, since you started here, what experience do you have with 5th generation systems?
With what generation again?
5th generations, the PS1s, the Atari Jaguars, the Saturns, the 64s.
Well, like I said, the PS1 was my first ever system. I first played it in '99 when my uncle ended up getting it as a Christmas present in '98. Or,
Yeah, apparently,
or so I've heard.
Apparently it came out in '94. I never knew it came out this early.
No, it came out in Japan in December '94. And it didn't come out in the U.S. until September '95.
Yeah, I forget sometimes some of these numbers are from the original Japanese launch, but we don't get these to America until like a year later or more.
It's actually interesting to note that currently the PS1 is the only system I own that predates my birth.
What about you, Brandon? You have any of these?
I have quite a few systems that predate my birth.
Wait. You know that Harry? I've said this before, but
I'm back.
on a side note, did you know that the fourth Harry Potter book has a big anachronism in it?
What's that?
So, in the fourth book, when Harry is writing a letter to his godfather, he notes that his cousin raged so hard he threw his PlayStation out the window, and he also makes mention that it's a system you can play games on, since, like, Magic folk wouldn't know what a game system is.
Brandon, your camera.
But here's the thing. That book took place in the summer of 1994.
Oh, wow.
How did he get a PS1?
Maybe his parents had connections.
If we're talking about Harry Potter, then magic. That's how we got it.
It was
Fucking
a
magic.
muggle that was using it.
Huh?
It was a muggle using it.
Wow.
I say it's-
Brandon,
My phone
your
just
camera.
died for
Oh.
no reason whatsoever.
His parents had connections.
Okay, so I left.
It spoiled big time, so that's why.
So I momentarily left because I went to go ask my parents about them using dial-up, and both said yes, they did. Both answered I don't know to when they used it, because I asked them if they used it in the late 2000s, and they just told me I don't know. Though my guess is perhaps my dad might have used it in the late 2000s, or at least sometime when YouTube already existed, because he mentioned that videos were slow, and, well, pretty much a lot of things were slow, I think, but he made a point that videos were so slow.
Yeah.
He also complained about the noise that dial-up makes when you start it up.
I think now that's like a famous noise.
It is a famous noise. In fact, actually, the sound has a purpose.
It does?
It does?
Yeah, there's an actual purpose for the noise. You can literally look up a video on YouTube, and it'll tell you what, like, different parts of the noise and what they all mean. It's actually interesting.
I can't do it very well.
Yeah, I'll give you an example that, like, you know the beeps that start in the beginning?
Yeah.
Like how it goes do 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 do. You know that?
I thought it was like it was dialing or something.
It is. It basically is kind of dialing, considering that it's through a phone line, and it's basically talking to. I don't know. I don't remember what it said, but it's your dial-up thing, your modem, and then something else talks, and the noise represents them talking, and there's different phases of the conversation to get the connection started up, and it's pretty damn intricate. Brandon, are you gonna turn on your webcam again, or are you on the computer?
I'm on the computer.
Or-
I'd
I
have to plug in an external webcam.
Fuck.
Time to
Good
rearrange.
Yep. Whoa, this is weird.
Anyways, next is the 6th generation.
Okay, I don't know why. I thought you were gonna say the 7th. I was
Came after
concerned.
came after, and there's only this picture is only a few things. There's the Dreamcast, the PS2,
Hey!
the GameCube, and finally returning to America, the Xbox. America's comeback.
The funny thing is, the Dreamcast was moderately successful until the fucking PlayStation and Xbox came out, and that's kind of when it plummeted.
And thus started the Xbox PlayStation Wars, and then Nintendo became like a cartoon player, I guess, more cartoonish games.
Well, wait, what console do they have again?
The
GameCube.
Oh, yeah,
Dreamcast.
GameCube. Never mind.
Yeah. I think like people. I think that's when it started. The PS Xbox wars happened here, I think, and then GameCube, Nintendo became more like a.
Wait, what about the DS though?
Oh, this is more game consoles, not
like home consoles.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, what? Wait, what year is it at least?
This is the 98 to 2001.
Okay.
Dreamcast 98, PS2 2000, GameCube 2001, Xbox 2001.
Okay, hold on. I want to see what year the DS was released. The original DS was released in 2004. Huh.
But I said, yeah, I think Dreamcast had some games, but I think it fell off the wayside. Probably it's focused on these Nintendo, PS, Sony, and Xbox. Microsoft became the masters at this point.
You know, I've had experience with a GameCube, but I never got to actually own one until like many years later. But I have played a GameCube in the past, and one game that I remember prominently playing was Super Monkey Ball. I don't know if it was Island or whatever at the end, but it was Super Monkey Ball basically, and Mario Sunshine 2, which I actually have Mario Sunshine today.
Yeah, I never ever owned a GameCube, but my friend let me borrow his, and I played Wind Waker on it, the original Wind Waker, and I played Twilight Princess on it too, which was bad at the time, because I looked up a walkthrough for Twilight Princess. What I didn't know, however, it was a Wii walkthrough. So.
So everything was the wrong way.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, turn left. I'm like, my friend, turn left here. I'm like, there's a cliff here. What means a cliff here? just turn right. It should be a bug.
Oh God.
That's hilarious.
So finally we realized what we're doing. And we had to. And if I said left, I meant right. It's like.
Yeah. Literally the only reason why it's mirrored in the Wii version is because Link is holding his Master Sword on the right hand. That's where the Wii remote is going to be for you, and for some reason they reversed everything. I don't know why they need to do that.
Yeah, and I don't get it. They could have just put the sword in his right hand and called it good.
But no, now we get technically Master Quest in the Wii version.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, but I did own a PS2.
No, I'm sorry to interrupt. Master-ish Quest. The Wii version. Okay, go on.
But I did own a PS2. It's where I first played the Case games. Original.
It was also when I played the original there too. I never beat it as a kid, and I still haven't beat it for some fucking reason.
I've never even played the originals. I have them, but I've never played them.
And this was back in the day of no skippable cutscenes.
And also, it's not a kid's game, but kids can still play on it, I guess.
Just cut off, like, okay, look away, somebody's gonna die. What? Like, never mind, look away, somebody's dying. Okay, it's happy cartoons now, you can play again.
What, like, wait, someone dying, like, what, that one scene in Traverse Town when Sora gets there and the guy turns into a Heartless after falling on his ass?
Or when Sora stabbed himself in the heart.
Oh, I don't think kids will get to that point. Or, well, I wouldn't have, at least.
Like,
But hey-
Mommy? Why is he dead?
Yeah, it's really weird, but I guess technically it was safe for me since I would never get to that point as a kid, like, at all. Like, it wasn't gonna happen. In fact, You want to know how I played RPG games back then?
How?
Okay, so this is kind of a funny story. So I played Lord of the Rings, Oh wow, I can't believe I forgot the fucking name. The third something. Schnick, can you finish that?
What, the third movie, Return of the King?
The Third Age.
The what?
Return of the King?
Third age.
Oh,
The Third Age.
Oh, that's what that game was called? The Third Age? Huh. I could have sworn it was something else, but oh well.
It was basically a Final Fantasy X clone.
Yeah, pretty much. Or at least, according to Schnick, pretty much. But I played that game as a kid, and I got stuck on one point in the game, and I couldn't ever figure out why. And I didn't understand one simple concept. Leveling up. I did not exactly understand that, and therefore I would get screwed over at this one point. Then years later, when I'm still, well, a few years later, I guess, when I'm still a kid and still thought the same exact way on RPG games, one of my older brothers came in on, like, one of the few visits that I've ever had with him, because he is not a good person, I guess, or at least he doesn't follow the law very well. But, the rare visits that he came over, he actually played that game, and so, okay, he's going on to play, yeah, the RPG, and he gets, I think he got stuck on a certain point before I got stuck, and he understands how to play it better than I do. So then, he sees me go to play that game, he sees that I'm in a later part of the game, and he really doesn't understand how I got to a later part of the game than he did, even though he understood leveling up better. And you want to know what the real funny thing was?
What?
I purposely didn't mention this because there's... Okay, I didn't not only understand leveling up, what I also didn't understand was how to effectively use armor. And the reason why I got stuck was because I kept dying due to not having good armor.
Wow.
And the sad thing is that, actually, wait, no. Then again, maybe my brother didn't get stuck earlier than I did. I don't know. But
Level 1 armor at level 8 zone.
well, as a matter of fact, maybe he did get past me. That might make more sense, actually. But I do remember he basically asked me, how did you get to this point with default armor? Or something along those lines.
See, like, I'm just that damn good.
And I was pretty far in the game, I'll be honest. So, I don't know how far, because I never beat it. But, pretty far.
Of course, nowadays that would get to a trophy concept.
Pretty
like,
much.
Can I
Trophy.
Can I say something real quick?
What?
So, I had a very similar story when I played Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets on Game Boy Color. That game is a Final Fantasy-style RPG as well. And, when I saw a level on my save file, as in level 10, level 14, and all that, I thought it meant what level of the game I was on, not how much strength I had.
Wow.
I also thought that when you went into battles, you had to do it all in one go. There was no healing items or anything.
Oh, God.
That would suck.
So eventually, when you fight the giant spider as a boss, I rage quit, and I stopped playing it for years. But ever since I got my Game Boy player, I've been playing it again, and now I'm going to try and beat it.
You have a Game Boy player with the startup disc?
Yeah, I do. Because, well, Brandy, you probably don't remember this story, but when the spring semester was starting, my sister wanted to take my Wii with her to school.
Which means you'll be able to play GameCube games anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have lost my ability to play GameCube games, and we were still playing Shrek Extra Large at the time, so that was a no-no. So, my dad was like, well, how much is a GameCube? And then I called the store. I was like, I don't know, about $60 or so. And he's like, then just get the freaking GameCube.
And for someone who used to say old systems are bad, you get an older system that's like an improvement.
Also, he's the same guy who told me not to get it when I wanted a GameCube as a kid to accompany my PS2. He's the guy who told me no, saying PS2 was enough.
Oh, wow.
PS2 was enough, but it lived past the PS3. There's never enough PS2.
Well, eventually, when the PS3 came out, he was trying to make me get it, but then its high price point and my desire to get a Wii made him decide on the Wii, and then eventually I got the PS3. And, yeah.
But really, back to your old story again, like I said, for someone who once said an old system is obsolete now, you shouldn't get it.
Probably the reason why he said told me to get it was because I was paying my own money. So yeah, actually, if I'm not mistaken, he actually did give me $20 to like contribute to the cost.
Cool. I still can't believe that the same guy who
because
said
it was because of my sister taking the Wii.
I still can't believe that the same guy who made you put back the original Chain of Memories.
Yeah. And then when I was calling the store about a GameCube, it was even cheaper than I thought. It was only $45.
Wow.
And then, out of curiosity, I asked about the Game Boy player. They had it, but it was $80.
What?
That's the average cost of one.
With the startup disc, yeah. And then I thought about it for a second. I was like, screw it, reserve it too.
Get it all.
Yeah, and then they reserved both for me. I went to the store the next day, and I picked them up. No regrets. I like playing Game Boy Advance games once again.
Yeah. And
because, don't forget, he got rid of all my methods of playing Game Boy Advance games to get a DSi for my sister.
Shocked he didn't get rid of the Game Boy player, too.
But I got the Game Boy player just months ago. Now he doesn't care.
Oh.
Well, then came Generation 7. We're almost at modern times now. The 360, the PS3, and the Wii.
I was kind of both under the 6th and 7th generation. I think my best guess was that the original DS was in the 6th generation, but I got my DS Lite in 2006, and that was the first DS I ever had. So, yeah, I think that might have been my introduction. No, I'm pretty sure that was my introduction to Nintendo, was the DS Lite, and surprisingly enough, according to my parents, the reason why I got a DS Lite that 2006 Christmas was actually because they didn't know what to get me, so they asked random people around the store what they think they should get. So apparently people at that store influenced my parents' decision to get me a Nintendo console, and yeah, that was pretty interesting to hear, to be honest.
Yeah. If we're talking about handhelds, I had an original Game Boy, I had a Game Boy Pocket, a Game Boy Color, and then a Nintendo Advance. And then after that, that's when I stopped getting handhelds. Never had a DS or a 3DS.
Also, another thing too, I felt like I was late to the Wii party, no pun intended, because, well, I guess part of the reason why I felt like I was late to it was because never seen any Wii commercials, surprisingly. And this was during the time where I did watch TV a lot more often than I do now. So I never seen a Wii commercial, so that's why I felt I was kind of late to the party. Yet, at the same time, maybe I wasn't. Maybe I was in the middle of it because, I mean, granted, a bunch of Wii games were already released, but, I mean, it wasn't even close to the ending mark of it either. So,
I was real late to the 7th generation party. I didn't get a regular Wii until like 2013.
Yeah.
Like my friend.
I was an Xbox guy. I got the Xbox 360 when it originally came out, the one without the fucking hard drive.
Yeah, when my friend sold me one for $20.
Wow, 20. Jeez.
Yeah, and then I didn't get a PS3 until last year.
Huh.
And I only got to play 2 games that are irrelevant now.
Oh yeah, fun fact. My Wii was potentially stolen / lost because I couldn't find my console one day and I didn't understand where it could have been, and eventually we just gave up and said fuck it, it's lost. Though we did eventually get another Wii, thank God. So at least I got the satisfaction of being able to get another Wii replacement instead of just not being able to play it for a long time. Though,
yeah,
I'm not really sure how it went down at the same time, though. I mean, it feels like a really weird situation because I feel like my Wii right now is my one that I had ever since I got it, but I don't think it is. I don't know. It's really weird. I don't like to think about it.
Yeah, what's weird about me is I actually bought my PS3 after I bought my PS4. I didn't buy a PS4.
After I bought my
PS4,
I got the PS3. So that after I bought my PS4, I got the PS3. There you go.
It's funny. Vandelia and Hawk both have the Taco Bell PS4.
Yeah. And I tried getting the Taco Bell PS4, but it didn't happen because I didn't win.
It only took me 2 trips to get it.
Really? 2? I did way more than 2 trips, and I still didn't win.
I did a shit ton of trips, and I still didn't get shit.
Yeah.
Next is Generation 8, which is the Wii U, the PS4, and the Xbox One.
Funny enough, I got the PS4 at launch when it came out, and fucking we both didn't our family didn't get the Xbox One until like about a year or so ago, and then I didn't get the Wii until fucking like really late last year, like December last year.
I got the PS4 2 years ago when I won it from Taco Bell. Obviously, I haven't owned the Xbox yet, and I got the Wii U this year when the Switch came out.
I'm pretty sure I got my PS4 on Christmas 2015 because all the shit went down in 2016. But here's a question though: why isn't the Switch in this list for this generation?
I guess this is a more advanced Nintendo. I guess they consider it. I guess it's considered next generation. Type.
No, because the Nintendo Switch is considered a handheld. And going off the list that you're using, that list doesn't use handhelds.
Actually, you're wrong. It's considered a home console / handheld hybrid.
Well, most people are going to use it as a handheld, so it's pretty much considered a handheld.
That's a misconception because I use it as a home console a lot, and
I guess
other people do.
But like I said, since the Wii U is considered 8th, I guess the Switch is considered 9th.
In fact, another thing, I have not seen a person have a Switch in their hands outside once. Just saying.
Apparently, I've heard rumors about this. There's, I think Snick mentioned it, or somebody mentioned it in the podcast before. Apparently there was some big miscommunication between the Wii and the Wii U. People thought it was something different. I heard.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah, I don't fucking understand how people thought that the Wii U was supposed to be part of the Wii. I don't fucking understand how they thought that. Like,
well, here's the thing, Adam.
people
When
stupid?
the Wii U commercials came out, I only heard about it through word of mouth through my school. And pretty much what everyone told me was it's an add-on to the Wii. It's like a thing you plug into the Wii.
Seriously? That's... Dude, even I fucking knew that the Wii U was a new console. Are you kidding me?
When I heard that, I was like, oh, Wii U. Cool.
Like, what about you, Snick?
No, Brandon, that's your current reaction. So, either way, you would have said that.
Yeah, that still is pretty much my current reaction.
Do you have anything about the Wii U drama happened?
Okay, I'd just like to say... Alright, the fact... Oh, you're asking Schneck.
Oh. You can go.
Yeah, apparently the reason why a lot of people weren't buying the Wii U was literally because they thought it was an unnecessary extension to the Wii.
Wasn't the only reason, but yeah, that is, I guess...
Well, another reason was
potential
because
factor.
third-party companies quickly abandoned it.
I love how you say that, yet when I looked on the fucking eShop and Miiverse for the Wii U, there's so many fucking games that from, like, well...
That's indie shit.
Wait.
It's not
yeah,
actual
so,
AAA
okay, my
third-party
bad,
games. They're
my
indie
bad,
game
my bad.
trash. Trash.
Yeah, that
I
was
think this is
my bad.
I think this is a time where most people start doing downloadable games instead of.
Yeah, it was part... Yeah, I guess it would be the start of having games digitally on console, yeah.
Instead of buying the discs.
Yeah.
What you guys prefer? You prefer discs or downloads?
I like disc.
I like
So you can-
I like discs, but sometimes getting it digital has its perks too. Though I wouldn't do it for every game.
So you can break them.
I only do it with games if I really like them and I don't feel like getting a physical. I don't know. I don't know how I decided. I just feel like sometimes getting a game digital, if it's something I know for a fact I'll like Crash Insane Trilogy, I enjoy that. I mean, I have its problems with, but I still like it. Same for Splatoon 2.
I think the main difference between some people like digital more than handheld nowadays well, back in the day, like the PS1, PS2, the PS3, some of the games were cross compatible. You could take your old games and put them on the new system and still play them. But now so for some systems that isn't as anymore. Like you play the GameCube on the Wii, you can play the Wii on the Wii U. You can't play the Wii U on the Switch anymore. In the Switch, so yeah.
Well, the Wii U games on the Switch wouldn't have worked anyways unless Nintendo had this weird, like, disk drive add-on for the Switch, because it uses, like, little cartridges.
Wait, I think I got mixed up. What?
What I just said in a nutshell was backwards compatible Wii U games wouldn't work on the Switch unless Nintendo released a disk drive.
I was saying how in the old days they made the new systems to play the old games, but after a while they stopped doing that. So now people have to either buy the games completely new or get digital. They don't play the old games on a new system.
See, the problem with having backwards compatibility with the Wii U games for the Switch is basically, well, you literally would need two screens for a lot of games, because, I mean, yeah, the Switch console itself technically does have a touchscreen, but unless there was an option to switch between the gamepad screen and the normal TV screen, then good fucking luck. Though I mean, some games, yeah, you can port over no problem. Like Mario Kart 8, that could have been ported over no problem since you don't really need the touchscreen for that game. And also, some Mario games you don't even need a touchscreen. Like, well, New Super Mario Bros. U, that would require a touchscreen for like a 5th player, but I mean, other than that, you don't really need the touchscreen. So
the same thing for handhelds too. I can play my old Game Boy games on my Game Boy Advance, even though it's stuck out at the top, because they are much bigger cartridges. They still fit it. They still fit in the Advance system.
Handheld games, unless they're the DS, there's no reason why they can't have them.
I mean, you probably couldn't play an Advanced system in the backwards in the Game Boy. We could play the Game Boy games in the Advanced system.
Oh yeah. Also, I want to say about the Switch backwards compatibility with Wii U idea. I mean, technically, you could still use it. Or okay, I fucked up my sentence. Technically, you can put the games on cartridges because, I mean, I don't see why you couldn't. And also, even if that isn't a possibility at all for whatever reason, I mean, there's still digital downloads. Yeah, it would be a drag for some people, but, I mean, there's no other reason to be able to get it digitally because you can get Wii U games digitally, so therefore there shouldn't be any reason why you couldn't get them.
If there was I mentioned before, if there was a way that you had the game before somehow or downloaded digitally on the Wii U, you could get a code. You could get a code to transfer over to your Switch, so you don't have to pay the full price again for it.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen, to be honest with you. That doesn't seem to be the case. I mean,
that did happen.
What?
That did happen in a way.
With the Switch?
No, in a way it happened with the Xbox, because certain Xbox 360 games near the launch of the Xbox One had a little code you could redeem on the Xbox One to get the game for like $10.
$10? Are you fucking serious? Wow.
Some PS4 games did that too.
Really?
Come on, Nintendo, what's wrong with you? You've been around. You've been around longer than the other two systems, and they're on the game, and they're on the ball.
No, partly the problem is the fucking presidents aren't just with the times, I guess. I mean, especially Iwata mainly because I swear to God, Iwata, I didn't think he was with the times practically at all. I mean, you can see it in a lot of things. I think, oh wait, no, that was Sakurai, never mind.
Can I say something quick?
What?
I build off on what Brandon said about the discounted next-gen versions. Because here's another one thing that Xbox did over PlayStation was that when Xbox later introduced backwards compatibility, one reason they would use to entice people to buy the Xbox One versions of certain games is that they'd include a game, like if it was a game in a franchise, they would include a previous game in the franchise on the 360 for free. Like with Fallout 4, they included free copies of Fallout 3. With Gears of War 4, they included the entire Gears of War collection on the 360. With Quantum Break, they offered Remedy's previous game, Alan Wake. And with Dark Souls 3, they offered the original Dark Souls.
Oh, great.
And I just got a message from my mom asking me not to be too late, so I may have to go soon.
Okay. And also,
yeah,
great, Alan Dar and Alan Wake.
Since we're at the modern day, I guess we should wrap it up so they can get out of here.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Any closing comments about game consoles and stuff?
I got a question for you. What do you think of the new Xbox and the possibility of the PS5 being made? Tell us your thoughts in the comments and whatever.
What new Xbox?
Well, there's the Xbox Scorpio or whatever the fuck they're calling it.
I'm pretty sure that's just an upgraded version of the Xbox One.
Speaking of Xbox, I heard a rumor a year or two ago, I forget how long ago, was they were trying to make compatible that PS players could talk to Xbox players.
Yeah, that didn't happen. The president of Sony said, fuck that, pretty much.
Well, why though? Did he say any reason?
Because here's their reason why. Because they can't ensure their customers' safety from Xbox players.
Safety?
Yeah, literally, that was their fucking reason.
That's weird. That's really
pretty
funny.
fucking
That's
stupid.
really, like, if they mean hacking, then that's really funny for them to say that because their whole system was hacked with the PS3 being out. So
No,
that would
I'm
be
pretty
really
sure
ironic.
they were pretty much talking about, like, safety as in, them not being able to fucking report users or whatnot.
Couldn't they integrate that?
Nope.
What? They can't integrate that? Seriously? Wow.
That would require an all-new console, Adam.
No, it wouldn't. Can't
Pretty
you
sure
just-
it would.
No. I'm pretty sure a simple patch fix would just do it.
To integrate an entire new network, that would be, through a patch, that would be fucking unheard of.
I don't see why they couldn't.
Welcome to the future.
See you in 2020. We're gonna be fucking playing our console's inner brain.
You're like, next.
Wow, the future came fast.
Next will be the playing with the PS2 can play with Switch players and they can play with PC players.
The PS2 can play with Switch and PC? Damn, that's a great future. Yes, PS2 Online is back!
The PS4 half.
Oh god. One thing I want to say though before we go is, well, I did say I want to talk about the Wii U, but I'll just say this basically. I do not understand why people hated the Wii U so much. I mean, yeah, I know about the problems, but I mean, they're not that bad. I mean, if you're talking, okay, marketing, yeah, that was kind of bad, I'll admit that. But other than that, I don't really see the problems.
I think really the reason the Wii U failed is because it looks like it would be a portable console, but it's not.
How though? Because they always show the Wii U with the gamepad and the console itself.
I don't know,
Same
dude.
time.
Lots of people
It's like-
by word of mouth who
Yeah.
also thought it was fucking fucking add-on for the Wii. When they realized it was a different thing, they thought it was going to be a portable thing.
Yeah, I still don't understand where they even got that from. Like, was that from, like, something from E3? Was that something before E3? Or, like, a patent, maybe? Or, like, what?
I couldn't tell you, honestly, but that was the main reason, because misconceptions were just everywhere.
Well, remember, guys, if you're young or old, male or female, whatever, buy a game console and start playing, and don't listen to Arnita Sarkeesian. Games are awesome.
Yeah, games are awesome.
Yeah.
And Zelda isn't misogynist.
Yeah.
No, it's not sexist, like she was claiming.
She's also not helpless either.
Well, don't forget, Anita might be going through her downfall after the Sargon incident.
What do you mean might be? I thought she went through a downfall years ago.
Well, the thing is, the public lost any respect they had for her after she got away with that. Sure, she has a few fellow feminazi followers, but yeah. Oh, speaking of that term, did you know that actually is a real term that has existed for years? And and unsurprisingly, the feminists, the hardcore ones, deny that they really want to prove that they really are acting like Nazis. Because that's basically what the hardcore feminists do. They basically want trying to turn the tables and make it so that men are the one that have to fight for equal rights.
Which is fucked up.
Yeah. Well, join us next week as we talk about useless school subjects and why we even bother should have them in classes. Until then, enjoy the randomness.
Bye-bye.
See you later, people.
I thought you were going to say Peter.
No. Santiago.